What happened when this Duck Dynasty legend chopped off his beard?
But before we start, please take a moment to give this video a like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you'll never miss these great stories.
Duck Dynasty enjoyed a historic run as one of A&E's top-rated shows. After spending 11 seasons on air, Duck Dynasty fans grew close to the Robertson family and their many misadventures. Thanks to their strong Louisiana heritage, commitment to duck hunting, and gigantic beards, it is easy to spot the Robinson family in pictures and on television. While their distinctive beards might have made them famous, wait until you find out what implored Jace Robertson to chop his own beard off. Here we have the iconic Jace Robertson seated before a mirror moments prior to his hair being completely chopped off. Missy watches on in the background with a smile on her face. How did Jace come to be in this position? Why was the young Robertson family leader preparing to chop away his iconic brown locks and beard? Before we dig too deep into the #ShaveJace campaign that rocked the Duck Dynasty fandom, let's peel things back a little bit in order to start at the beginning. Duck Dynasty rose to fame on the A&E network because it provided viewers with an up-close look at duck hunting through the eyes of people who'd been doing it their entire life. Fans quickly fell in love with the bearded and eccentric family, so it shouldn't surprise anyone to hear how invested the fans still are in their lives. Before Phil Robertson was taking over the television world with his duck hunting skills, he was tearing up the gridiron as a quarterback. Phil came into his own as a collegiate quarterback who started for the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. Robertson actually started ahead of NFL Hall of Famer Terry Bradshaw. Robertson would turn down an opportunity to play in the NFL in order to focus on his duck empire. By this point in time, you have to know about the Robertson family beard. We'll dig more into the history of their facial hair later, but this picture pretty much sums it up. The Robertsons have always been known for their big and burly beards, and Jace's decision to chop off his own beard was a huge deal not just to fans but to the family as well. Here's another group shot of the Robertson family. A brief survey will quickly reveal to you that beards are incredibly common among the grown men in the family. In fact, every older gentleman in this picture sans Al is rocking a massive and bushy beard. Does it run in their DNA, or is Al the only Robertson family member without the strong beard trait? Jace Robertson has always been considered one of the most popular members of the family. Thanks to his relative youth and easy good looks, Jace became a fan favorite almost from the word shoot. Jace is the COO of the family duck hunting business as well, which means that he'll stay quite busy long after the show has become history. For Jace, the iconic beard became intrinsic to his brand and his image. However, with the show cancelled, there was very little reason to keep the facial hair. What's more, Jace had a good reason to shave it all off. What do we mean by this? Well, as you'll soon find out, Jace's decision to shave his beard was about helping other people, not just himself. The driving force behind Jace's decision to shave his beard has everything to do with his daughter Mia. Mia had been born with a cleft lip and a cleft palate. This is a natural condition that can cause the upper lip to improperly form, thus leading to aesthetic problems. While generally painless and always non-fatal, life with a cleft lip and palate can be hard for a young girl. Fortunately, Jace made more than enough money during his Duck Dynasty run that he could afford the surgery Mia needed in order to repair her lip. Mia was able to have her cleft lip and palate repaired, and that might have been where the story ended had it not been for Jace. Jace realized that many other children did not have the same benefits as Mia when it comes to treatment. This thought led Jace to think of ways to help out other people who'd been suffering with a cleft lip or palate. Jace and his family knew that they could raise money to help other children with cleft palates. In order to most effectively help out these kids, the Robertsons would need a fun and viral way to spread the word. Are you starting to see where we're going? As it turns out, shaving Jace's beard was the perfect way to launch their newest nonprofit, the Mia Moo Fund. The Mia Moo Fund was established by Jace as a way to raise money for children who couldn't afford to have the surgery to repair their cleft lip. Jace decided to create the foundation as a way to honor his daughter while improving the lives of children all over the country. In order to make the Mia Moo Fund a success, Jace wanted to shave his beard off for charity. Jace was obviously thrilled at the idea of helping out those in need. However, the beard had become such an intrinsic part of his life that he felt a certain level of nervousness at the thought of chopping it off. Fortunately, Missy was supportive when it came to ditching the beard. In fact, some may argue that Missy was the one pushing for the clean-shaven look. While Jace was about to turn the fandom upside down, he wasn't the first brother to go without a beard. While most of the Robertson male family members had beards of some sort, Al had never been one to grow out his hair. Al Robertson is notoriously clean-shaven in every picture that he's appeared in with the family. Whether he didn't like the beards or couldn't grow one, we'll never know. You didn't have to be a huge fan of the show to realize how big of a deal this was. While Jace Robertson is no Britney Spears, his decision to lop off his beard is just as striking as her decision to shave off her head. To put this plainly, shaving Jace's beard was kind of a big deal. While Jace was rightfully nervous about shaving his beard off, he knew that there were plenty of benefits to look forward to. For starters, Jace had become famous while rocking his beard. After shaving it all away, Jace was confident that he'd be able to live life as if he weren't famous at all. His desire to remain anonymous while out in public would help fuel the choice. In 2013, when the program was dwindling to an end, Jace revealed that he had actually considered shaving his beard off completely. Jace admitted that he wanted to shave off the facial hair after the show ended so that he could regain his anonymity and make his wife happier all at the same time. Even though Jace was about to have his beard shaved off, he had to admit that there were many advantages to the facial feature. For duck hunters, giant beards work as natural camouflage as well as facial protection. During the winter, it can help to have a huge bushy beard to keep your face warm. Jace did reveal that having the huge beard wasn't always a benefit during the filming of the show. In fact, Jace would later reveal that his huge beard was probably to blame for all his trouble in airports. According to Jace, he frequently would get pulled out of line by TSA because his beard looked suspicious. One time, Jace had an encounter with a fan that had him ready to shave his beard off then and there. Approached by a random fan on the street, Jace agreed to take a picture. Simple, right? Well, not exactly. According to Jace, the man thought that Jace was the actor who played the famous Geico caveman. Even if Jace looked like the Geico caveman when you squinted, he had still grown quite fond of the facial hair. Jace had become an international celebrity worth more than $10 million thanks to his incredible beard, family, and TV show. Now the show was gone and his beard would soon be following it. Times were changing for Jace and the Duck Dynasty family. Following the end of the television show, Jace decided to keep busy. Instead of resting and relaxing with the family, Jace launched his own website titled Camo Fix. The goal of the website is to create a sense of online family between Jace and his fans. Jace considers Camo Fix to be the only way to see what the Robertson family's up to. Before Jace could relax with Camo Fix, he first had to head on to Fox News to appear on their daily morning show. While on the program, Jace revealed that he would be shaving his beard off for charity. Here you can see the entire morning crew along with Missy and Jace smiling for the camera. Is it just us or does Jace look a bit hesitant? No matter how hesitant Jace might have been, the day of the beard shave was rapidly approaching. This picture showcases Jace just moments before having his iconic mop act away. Missy had taken the photo and she would be there to document the entire event. After having raised so much for the Mia Moo Fund, Jace knew it was time to do his part. Jace watched in the mirror as his face and head slowly transformed. In the blink of an eye, Jace went from a hardened duck hunter to someone a little more, well, presentable. This shot shows Jace halfway through the transformation and you can already tell the difference. As the hair fell away, so too did the years from Jace's face. By the time that his hair and beard had been completely trimmed, Jace was almost unrecognizable. Here we can see the first moment that Jace saw his clean face. Missy was overjoyed by the transformation as she felt she'd finally gotten her husband back from the TV show. Missy would later admit that Jace's lack of a beard made it even easier for her to flirt with her husband. As it turns out, Missy was quite done with a beard herself. This picture shows Jace's happy family posing for the camera with nary a beard or cleft lip among them. While Jace's transformation was incredible to watch, it isn't the only transformation that has rocked a family. In fact, seemingly the entire family has spent time without their infamous beards checked upon their faces. This shot shows Willie posing before and after his time on the show. On the left, Willie looks like a mullet-rocking athlete. This amazing picture shows Jap, Jace, and Willie all rocking a clean face during their childhood. Racing a bunch of boys was tough for Phil and Kay, as we had no doubt that the Robertson kids like to get in trouble. How could a family of duck hunters not have a few exciting stories from childhood? Even Cy Robertson had enjoyed a period of time before his face had been overtaken by a giant beard. Here we see Silas Robertson looking mighty sharp in his uniform. Cy Robertson had spent time in the armed forces, so how hard could hunting a couple of ducks on television actually be? Swinging the focus back to Jace and Missy, we can see how the lovely couple looked when they first met. Here we can see that Missy had fallen in love with a clean-shaven version of Jace, well before the beard was even a thing. When Jace shaved his beard off, Missy must have had flashbacks to when they first started dating. That could explain the extra flirting. It's wild to see such famous individuals while they were still children. Jace and Missy look like they could be any other regular couple from the Midwest or down south. You wouldn't know that these two would be on television soon as part of the most famous family in A&E history. For another photograph that really takes the family away from their television roots, look no further. This beautiful picture shows the Robertson family posing with their young children. Decades before Jace and Co. would become one of the most popular shows in A&E history, they were just another regular family. It seems strangely sacrilegious to say, but even Phil Robertson once rocked a clean-shaven face. Phil Robertson hadn't always been a huge fan of the beard, but we definitely think he made the right choice when he decided to stick with it. Robertson began growing his beard while the boys were still in high school, and he hasn't shaved it since. We already revealed that Phil Robertson was a beardless football fanatic in his youth. What else could shock you? What about learning that Mr. Phil Robertson once worked as a substitute teacher? It's true. Before Phil was the grizzled leader of the Duck Dynasty team, he was a regular old professor at a local high school with a BS in English. This almost seems too weird to be true, doesn't it? The origins of the Robertson family's beard can be traced back to when Phil's kids were in high school. Phil decided to start growing out his beard on a whim. His kids agreed to start growing out their beards after graduating from high school. Together, the Robertson boys would make burly beards a part of the family tradition.